Yeah, excuse the visual. It looks like I have an egghead here. It's definitely not flattering, this video. But anyways, great road win. Unbelievable road win. Second of the year. Told the guys before the game that I kind of felt like this was going to be our second win on the road. And I told them before the game that the main reason why was because of our confidence, our belief, and that we're a team that's finding ways to win, finding ways to get points and get results. And we knew we were facing a desperate team, a team that had very little pressure, actually. They don't have a coach yet, and you could see that a little bit at the end when they're down even. There's no pressure, right? They've been not winning, and they can just kind of throw caution to the wind, throw numbers forward, throw balls in the box. But in the end, I think our belief, our confidence, our edge, our toughness, this is becoming one of the toughest teams I've ever coached and one of the tightest locker rooms I've ever coached. And it's not always perfect. It's not always pretty. We've had some very good games where it is. But, every game we bring the fight and we bring the energy. And it's not just the guys starting the game, it's the guys coming into the game as well. And when you have a group of guys that care for each other, that want to fight for each other, and that are hungry, you're able to pull off pretty special results and special things in the long run. A lot to improve on still, but great to get a set piece goal. Unbelievable defending. I thought Jonah Mensah, it's hard to name a man of the match, but I thought he was man of the match. I thought he was unbelievable in the box, his box defending, heading things out. Aloy again had a couple excellent saves. But I thought, listen, it's a team thing. When we defend well, it's a team thing. So it was everybody. But there are going to be some games where you need your center backs to do a bit more. And certainly in that second half, we needed Jonah and Booba and Waylon, whoever was in the game, to really have, big balls. Sorry for the French, but you gotta be hard, and you gotta be mentally tough. And I thought we showed that. And that's why we're right now one of the best defensive teams in the league.
So again, we'll turn it over to Jacob Myers, followed by Pat Murphy.
Caleb, there have been times this year where balls have come into the box and maybe a second or third ball is picked up and scored by the opposition. Tonight, even when Atlanta was pushing, it didn't seem real nervy. I don't know if Aloy even had a save down that stretch. Just to you, how confident did the group look in the last kind of 15 minutes there as you guys were pinned back?
Yeah, I think again, every team takes on a little bit different personality. And while we want to play a similar game model and philosophy year in, year out, every team's just a little bit different. I think what this team is showing is the ability to be tough, to grind, to defend deep if we need to do different things to win games, a bit more of a multifaceted, kind of approach. And that allows me to do some different things as well because we're flexible. We can start with that 4-4-2 that I thought had some really nice moments. If Hurtado scores that breakaway, right, we're up 1-0 and who knows what happens. But I thought we had some really nice moments out of that shape, actually, and it worked pretty well when Molino and Matan were very narrow and we were getting our outside backs forward and we were pitting their center backs with our two strikers and even at times pulling Bradley off the line and running Hurtado behind. I think there were some nice moments, and so that possibly gives us a little bit of a different, shape. So my point is, I think this team is becoming flexible, and I think, finding ways to win games. It's that simple, and doing different things to win games and not being, as predictable. Want to get the goals going a bit more still. We had some great chances today. Marley had a great chance. He pulls the trigger. Hurtado, Miggy at the end. A couple others, Derek was a great chance. So we got to do better there. But listen, road game, 1-0. We'll leave here very happy. And the great thing is we took 7 points this week in a very difficult week where we're thin, we're getting guys back in. we got guys still working back from injuries. We took 7 points in our 3 and 8. So that makes me very happy. We got a full week now to prepare for New York City.
And I feel like we talk about Aloy every game, but I mean, just I guess compare this to some of the form of best kind of goalkeeping stretches that you've seen. Zach certainly had some when he was here. He just seems to make a play every single game that keeps you guys in it.
Yeah, we always talk about, we defend as a team, we attack as a team, being a tight group, that it's always helping each other, both sides of the ball. But within that, we need individuals to make plays and step up. And we need attackers to find goals. We need center backs to make little plays that no one sees. It's part of their job. A bunch of guys just doing their job. And, Aloy's job is to make saves. We hope he doesn't have to make many, but I've seen some goalkeepers that never want to, they never want to take a shot, and they blame everyone when they give up a goal. And at the end of the day, Aloy, is just making plays to help us win games. And it's a powerful thing when you have individuals within the team concept who are rising to a level and making plays and winning moments. And you put a collection, as simple as it sounds, of plays together, and we're winning more plays than they are over the course of 90 plus minutes, especially in the boxes, then we're going to get results. And I think there have been some times with teams I've had at times where the individuals hide behind the team and expect the team to bail them out or other guys to bail them out. Whereas we have a bunch of guys that are fighting for each other, but making plays individually when they need to. And certainly he's doing that for us.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Pat Murphy, followed by Jonathan Siegel of MLSsoccer.com.
Caleb, could you talk a little bit more about the tactical plan today? Obviously, the 4-4-2 you touched on, just how that came about, and then switching things up in the second half and how you thought that went.
Yeah, obviously, I believe in continuity. I believe in consistency. I believe in execution. I believe that the way that we want to play, if you execute, you increase your chances of winning. But I also, within that, believe that you have to be adaptable at times, and you have to look at your personnel, and you have to look at the opponent. And I have no problem throwing wrinkles in from time to time. But for me, I don't believe that you should be doing that every game, because at the end of the day, when you start getting too tricky and you start thinking you're the reason you're winning, and guys overthink it and start changing their tactics every game. And I don't see those teams win. The best teams, they build from a position of strength, they execute, and they have little tweaks. We felt today in this game, looking at their team, looking at how they get their outside backs forward very aggressively, how they go a little bit more man as well with their outside backs. We felt like a 4-4-2 shape would work. And also, in knowing Lucas was a little bit cooked after the last game, we felt like a 45 for him was a smart thing to do. There's certain guys we know can do the 3 and 8. He probably could have done it, but also at this stage in the season, it's not something we really want to risk. And, we felt like we could keep it tight, cause them some problems in transition. Again, they're a team that wants the ball, but also if we put out a lineup like we did with a little pace power, we felt like we could kind of get in behind them. The Eric chance is exactly what we kind of drew up and wanted to happen, and unfortunately just didn't score. But I thought we looked really solid out of that shape. And the plan was to overload in the pockets with Matan and Molino. We went with 2 overlapping outside backs, providing the width. And we went with 2 true strikers, one more of a stretching Hurtado, and then we had Bradley checking a little bit more and looking to link up the midfielders. So I think it worked really well in the first half, and then second half we had always planned to kind of move back into 4-2-3-1 and bring Lucas on. And with Hurtado and Matan, they both had great games, so they didn't get taken off because of any other reason other than we had always programmed to put Derek and Lucas in at halftime.
And Jonathan getting a goal, I think it's his first since 2018. You've talked a lot about what he means to this team, but for him to score a big goal in front of a big crowd in an important game, just how proud of him were you today?
yeah, again, we need to do better on set pieces. Paulo Moreira is the guy that really does so much behind the scenes, and Ben Cross and Ezra Hendrickson. You know, these guys, Tim Hanley, they deserve a lot of the credit behind the scenes for everything we do. But Paulo Moreira, he draws up the set piece attacking plays. He looks at the opponent, and thought he drew up a very good play where we served into Marley to flick on to Jonah, and it was great for him to get that goal. Like you said, we need more out of our center backs at times on set pieces. Oftentimes that's the margin. When you look at like a New England, I watched the game the other day. I mean, they're scoring the first 2 goals on set pieces, you know, and it just takes the pressure off always trying to find goals through the run of play. And we need to do a bit better there, but I was very pleased with that moment and that goal. And hopefully that's the first of many for Jonah this season.
For our final question, we'll go to Jonathan Siegel.
Hey, Caleb, thanks for taking the time. If I got it right, you guys are now unbeaten in 6. Like you touched upon, 7 points from a 3-game week. But it still feels like this team has a lot more to give. It's not anywhere near its kind of peak or where people perceive around the league it could be. Do you agree with that, or just how much more does this group have to give when we think about the potential of it overall?
I don't care what people think, honestly. That's no disrespect to what people think. You know, I respect everybody's opinions, and I think it's great for our game that people have opinions. I think it's great that people write articles and do the power rankings and all that. I look at a lot of some of those things and wonder sometimes if anybody actually watches the games and really looks at like the lineups and looks who's out. But I'm not going to make excuses about who's out. I'm not going to tell everybody every week, but when you were the champion the last season, people look for holes. They look for holes in you. They look, instead of talking about us being the best defensive team and the fact that we've lost 1 game in 10, we've got 5 wins and 4 draws. You know, instead of talking about that, they'll talk about why we're not scoring more goals. They always look for the negative, and you know that's because when you're good, you know the tallest trees the wind blows the strongest against. You know, and so when you're the tallest tree, people try to chop you down, and yeah, I don't agree with it at all. I mean, at the end of the day, we have Artur out, Giassi out, Luis Diaz. We have Josh Williams out. We have Milton Valenzuela. So I don't know if anybody ever even looks at that, you know, and I don't care if they do, to be honest with you. We're focused on winning games. Our group has never fought harder. We've never been tougher. If you look at what we've gone through in terms of guys being out and some of the guys playing that are frankly third-string guys to start the season, and they're playing like they're first-team guys and starters. So, yeah, once we get everybody in and once we get, you know, Giassi back and Luis Diaz back and some of these guys, and yeah, it'll be a little bit more fluid, but you can't talk about potential when you have that many guys out. And so I think they should start celebrating the good things about our team. But I actually I like it when we're not quite peaked till the end. I love it when we can still improve and still be better at a lot of things mid-season while we continue to just, you know, rip off results and wins. And you know, I love that because at the end of the day, I like my teams to peak in the last, you know, 5 games and we go on a run. So, you know, at the end of the day, I like where we're at. We're getting points. Can we play better? Yeah, I think everybody in the league can. But look at the lineups, watch the games, and analyze the reality.
Let's go to another segment with head coach Caleb Porter. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.